Good morning. Happy Friday. Let's get started. Got some cool stuff going on in the market with UNH and Intel. Let's see if PMNT wants to fade here or not. So we have Trump pumping Intel, saying that the government might get involved and take a stake in Intel. That is super, super interesting. But, it could be like a sell the news type event. Hard to say. They're not involved yet. So whenever these kind of things happen, it's hard to say what kind of action we're going to see in the long term. Because right now it's just a rumor. It's just Trump's just talking, he's just saying, hey, we might get involved. So we don't know if he's actually going to get involved. But he has mentioned Intel before, saying that TSMC should take a 49% stake in Intel. So things are happening with Intel. Eventually, something probably is going to happen. Seems like Trump is forecasting something, whether it's TSMC taking over or not taking over, but taking a stake, or the government for some sort of national security concern. Because we need chips to be made in America, not in other countries where we depend on them. They could turn off the flow of chips at any moment, and we don't want that to happen. So that's why Intel is going nuts right now. So we did have a nice long on this. We did have a nice long on this trend break right here. And I sold too soon, as I usually do. But I sold it into the spike right here. And then several days later, we got that news. So it did hold up pretty well. I didn't have to sell it. But I feel like a lot of times, if I'm up and I don't sell, then it can come right back on me. It doesn't have to stay up. In this case, you can see the longer term potential on that kind of a trade, even if it's just holding it for, thank you, yep, remove starting soon. Yeah, even if it's just holding for a week or so. So I did say as well, when I took this position, that I wanted to hold for this gap fill because there was a gap right here that needed to be filled. And that ended up getting filled on this news. So simply holding for that gap fill would have gotten me in on the news just by chance. And that's how things work a lot of times. Can't predict everything, but if you're positioned, you can enjoy some of these really nice moves. Right now, it's probably just a chase. It is hard to say, though. There's a pretty clear level that it's running up into. So it's going to probably test around that area, I would guess. Now, this gap needs to be filled as well. Back over at 28, 29 area. Which is probably going to happen eventually as well. But for now, it is testing this major resistance area. And I'm really hoping that this ends up pulling back over the next several days and sets up for a nice entry. So we don't have to chase it up here. It does feel like a chase. Could easily pull back. Trump could come out and say something else. Never mind. We're not going to get involved. You know, anything can happen. The nice thing is if you're in down here, it doesn't matter too much because you can ride out some turbulence without being down on your position ever. Just taking that initial risk of getting in, and then, yeah, maybe it doesn't hold up. Maybe it does go lower, but you got to try somewhere. So UNH, same setup, exact same setup here, except this one has the Berkshire news. And Berkshire has bought UNH, and the ads are going to be into this dip right here. They bought somewhere right around this area, and they bought more into this dip. So that statement was just released, just confirming that Berkshire bought UNH. And again, it's exactly the same pattern as Intel. It's funny how that works. But nice trend break. Again, I bought it on the trend break over here. And then I ended up selling it way too soon, as I always do, at 257 into the spike right there. So I did really well on it. But the real trade is, you know, the move back to 45600. So now that Berkshire is involved, it's going to be much more likely to have a really nice move. It's a big vote of confidence when you have a super investor like that jumping into the stock. So really, really interesting. Again, now I'm hoping that this move kind of got ahead of itself, and it's probably going to pull back, hopefully, over the next several days, give us a nice trend break entry again, just like this. And we'll try it right there. So fingers crossed for that pullback. We are in PayPal, same setup again right here. So hopefully this will sustain and have a bigger move. It still has a gap to fill too, so we really want to hold for that gap fill if possible. Always okay to sell some along the way. Nothing wrong with that. Nike, another one. So I've been buying on these trend breaks. Same exact setup. Sell into the breakout, trend break again. Buying back over here. I sold half into this push already. Rebought some on the dip. Now I'm trying to hold for the breakout on Nike. I think it's coming. Think it's coming, so we'll see. Also, you. So this is a big bear flag on the daily. Energy stock, uranium. This is going to be pretty hot. It's pretty hot right now. So we're going to see if uranium ends up holding. So I do have this long right around the mid nines. Let's see, what do I have? 950. So I bought it 950 on this day right here, and it is holding up really well. It's holding a nice flag. It's tightening up. You know, it's sort of riding up this moving average now. The moving average caught up, so we want to see it tighten and then eventually break out. Hopefully go another leg up. So we're going to be waiting for that. Hopefully that'll happen fairly soon. The stock is also near the all-time highs. So if it does break that, then we're going to be seeing a pretty big move. Just the technicals look really good on it. And then I love it when it chops out the lows right here. Love this pattern. Take out the low and then rip it up. Just like right over here. Take out the low right there. Rip it up. So that's going to be the hope for that one. Really close to that breakout. And if we have the kind of follow through, even if it's just the same follow through that it had last time, then we could be seeing a pretty nice move. So on the monthly chart, we've got a nice massive green month right here. Kind of a flat month. And then we had a really nice follow through after that. So I could imagine something similar happening over here. Looking very similar to this area. So we just want that next leg up. Not asking for much. And we know energy is going to be pretty hot with AI gearing up because AI takes a lot of energy. So it seems like it's kind of sympathy to AI to some degree. So it seems like maybe we have the technical pattern, we have the news catalyst, we have a catalyst in general. So we have a reason for it to go higher, and it is bumping against all-time highs. So really hoping this one takes off over the next month or two. New egg. Pretty wild move. This seems like it's, I don't know, this isn't a mega short squeeze right now. It hasn't topped out yet, but it's probably going to be topping out soon. You get a move like this from $6 to 128, 130. It's pretty insane. Obviously, they have had a reverse split right here. And then that allowed this move to happen. Got a real company kind of trading like a scam. Pretty illiquid, and that's helping this work. Really, it's trading like an OTC kind of. So it probably just trapped a ton of big players in it, right around these key levels. And the short sellers that like to add strategy, probably getting squeezed out. Maybe blowing up some accounts here. Wouldn't be surprised at all. It's kind of it's one of those things. It's a high win rate strategy, but it only takes one to blow out your account. So super impressive move there. It is going to have a nice red day one of these days, possibly today, but it is looking weak today, this morning already. Kind of gapping down. It's just so illiquid, it's really tough to judge because that could easily just rip right back up. From the daily perspective, it's following the rules pretty well. It ended up gapping, pulled back, tried to fill the gap right there, and then reclaimed, and then had a really nice green day yesterday. And the cool thing too with this is it's kind of like this uranium stock I'm trading, because it's still, you get a flag like this, it gets super tight, and then that's where you want to be buying. Now flags can break out or they can break down. So yeah, this one ended up breaking out, having a pretty insane move, and it flagged again right here. Went for 2 more days. I would guess the top is in, but I don't know. This is kind of a wild one to be shorting. I haven't touched it yet. I'm kind of hoping for one more gap up day. Best case scenario for me is it gaps up overnight. So I wanted to maybe put in an even bigger green day today. Just best case scenario for me, it would be if it holds up today and it has an even bigger green day than this previous day, and then pushes up towards 60, 160, 170, 180 area, and then it gaps up overnight to maybe 200, then that would be the entry for the short. That's like pretty much best case scenario. So there's always a chance though that today is the top, and it tends to roll over pretty hard whenever it's time, like this day. It didn't gap, so it was a slight gap down, and then it had a big red day. So kind of did the same thing over here. Slight gap down and then big red day. So if that's any indication, then it could top out like that, but we really want to see the massive blow off. You could argue that yesterday was a pretty big move. It did gap up. So basically 40% day yesterday, including that gap. So super interesting one. If we trade it or not, it's definitely one to learn from. This is a pretty much textbook example of how breakouts can play out when they're prime. Needs a lower high day. Yeah, and this, I don't know, these things can fall apart really quick when they are ready. So you could see just like one mega red day on it come back down to the 80s. Could be today. It could be today. I prefer the gap up at the end where it ends up putting in a huge gap on the last day, and then that's the sign. But of course, it never has to play out like that. It could just crack right here and back down to $80 by the end of the day, or 70 or 60. It will pretty much fall apart like a pump and dump. I mean, it's basically a massive short squeeze. So it's just playing out over days. Look at this one back here. 2021. Look at that. This is pretty much what is going to happen, except this one didn't have as nice of a structure on the run-up. It ended up consolidating for a long time right here, and then out of nowhere, boom, rocket ship straight up. It had a 1 day of consolidation there, and then a nice push there, but it wasn't like strong follow through day. And then the following day started really going. Day after that was the huge blow off day, and then it gapped down and just faded from there. So this is basically how this is going to end again. And yeah, you can see this one too. It had a gap down on the final day. I prefer the gap up. If it can gap up, it's better for me. But the gap down is fine too. Maybe just wait for the morning spike and then short and then try to fade it back down. course, if you swing short it, you will do amazing. So here we go. We're gonna round 2. This is round 2. Even better structure on the way up though. All right, 2 minutes to the bell. Good luck, everyone. Don't do anything crazy. Not too crazy. Yeah, the liquidity on this is just insane. It's been trading 2 million shares a day. Like super illiquid. $115 in pre-market. So we'll see. Maybe we'll try it, but probably just dodge it and hope that it will do maybe a dip and rip and then squeeze out again. Start pushing towards 180. And then the gap up. Like if the gap up is the plan. Now if it spikes in the morning here and then fails, maybe I'll try that. Or if it dips and then it gives me a nice bounce short, maybe I'll try that. Wow, is this the spread? This is even real? It's like $1, $2 spread. It's pretty much a nightmare to be stuck short in this. But you know what? That looks like a decent gap down on the daily. So this is looking like the top so far. All right, let's see. Nike's kind of holding up really nice. PayPal's looking good. UNH dipping, huh? Let's see. Let me take a peek at that one. UNH, yeah, I mean, when these things gap up like that, it's pretty much, it wants to fill the gap really bad. So it doesn't have to fill the gap. But yeah, there's definitely profit takers stepping in, locking in some gains on this. I'm kind of hoping for me, since I'm not in anymore, I wanted to pull back for a few days and then give me a nice entry. Could be a case for a panic dip buy. If this comes down enough. And we know how things like to dip and rip too in the morning. So that is a possibility too. MSTR down. Coin down. Baba kind of holding. Intel's pulling back as well. Newegg at 107. Tesla's looking strong so far. It's looking like it wants to hold the flag at the breakout level. PLTR weak. Amazon strong. All right, Nike's gapping up a bit. The swing is looking good. PayPal. Yeah, there's some news on PayPal I didn't really like. They're not allowing transactions from Steam. Something like that. Oh no. It doesn't let me buy BSLK. What kind of scam is this? Oh no. Look at that. It doesn't no, your order is not eligible for electronic entry. Please call Charles Schwab. Why are they turning off the buy button? I want to buy. Hello. Let's see, maybe I use different broker. Super, super lame. How can they just turn the buy button off? They're probably shorting it. True. Yeah, I remember when they turned the buy button off of GME. A while ago. They don't like people making money. A hood move. Yeah, hood did that. Take from the poor, give to the rich. Classic Robin Hood. All right, BSLK halted up, and we should be long, but we are not because they didn't let me buy it. So lame. Looks like Guardian will let me buy it, but I gotta buy it out of the halt now. We'll do a little bit. We'll try a piece. Let's see. When did this halt? 9:35 should be unhalting in a minute. Oh, there we go. Halted up. Let's see if it dips. Uh-oh, it might not dip. Maybe it does. Does it fill the gap or not? No. Oh man, I can't I can't get it. I just tried another order, but it's already off. Wow. Let's see. No fill on it. This thing's about to move like 50% or so. I tried to get in. I had an order sitting at 950. Oh, and 880. Oh, here we go. Oh no. Still not getting filled. There we go. I just took a tiny piece. We'll see what happens. I think it still goes way higher. pretty insane one to be trying, but this is one of my setups. But we'll see. The target is, it needs to be something like 50%. A 50% move is typical when these work. Doesn't have to work, but I wouldn't be surprised if it runs up, you know, to 14 bucks. It is possible that it just fails, but usually when these work, they're gonna have to do some consolidation, and it kind of just tried to fill that gap. So if the gap holds, then it's gonna be off. Look at that. It's about to push high day. So we'll let it do what it's gonna do here. Hopefully it's gonna consolidate a bit and keep going. So far, it's pretty much textbook. 3DS. All right, let's see it. Such a scummy move, though, to turn off the buy button. Nobody's going to call in and buy this. You wouldn't even be able to call in quick enough to buy it. Let's see. All right, here we go. High day. New high day. Let's see it. We just want to make 30, 40, 50%. Not asking for much. Doesn't give me confidence in brokers like Schwab, though. Yeah, I already bought it. I bought some on the dip. I have a little piece, but yeah, it just sucks that you can't trust the brokers to let you buy stocks. I got a piece at 922 on the dip. So we'll see what it does. I expect it to get kind of stupid by how it moves here. It's gonna just get super crazy and wild, and could fail, could keep going. That's how it works. Put a stop order in. This is going to be a squeeze, so the reason this works is because it's a mega squeeze. And that's the only reason. You get these guys shorting, trying to swing short for days, swing it back to zero, and then it starts getting a little out of control. Long meta SIG. Let me take a look at that one. Well, that looks nice. Oh, BSLK, new high day. Sweet. All right, you got meta at 785.51. 785.51. That looks really nice. It's coming into that SIG target right now. One of them. The first target. Second target. Probably going to hit too. I always like to scale it out though, just in case. I like that dip hold right there in meta. That's nice. Nice, nice, nice for the day trade. All right, BSLK, what are we doing? New highs. It's chopping its way up. If it speeds up, you know, that's where you sell. So hopefully this sustains a bit longer. Out of meta for 2 hours. Sick. That's good. So these can fall apart early in the morning, but I don't know. The play is really to go for the move, and we'll see. We expect it to get really dumb. Really stupid action. At the same time, these kind of moves are the most organic price action you're going to ever have. Look at that. Whew. PPSI trying to squeeze me. It's just hanging out a little bit too long, but it's getting ready to make a decision. All right, BSLK coming up. To the 11s, trying to push the 12s. Pushing nice volume. Let's see if we can get 13s. 12s and 13s. Just want 50%. We're not asking for too much. Okay, I sold half of it. $11.11 sold half. Now what? Look at that dip reclaim. Oh my god, this might halt up in a second. Do it. Eh. Still hanging out. Reclaiming 11s. Nice. Now just keep going. Shorts are struggling to buy this dip right now. We'll see if this dip holds. It's very similar to this last dip right here. So as long as this sustains, then I think we go higher. Could crack at any moment as well. It's always the trap of, if you are shorting it, well, add higher, right? Just add higher. Just average up. It's going to go back down. So then as they do that and it doesn't go down, then it's a cycle of stop outs over and over again until eventually it does go back down. Maybe this is all it's got in it. At least I sold half at 20%. And then we'll see in the second half. I'll just try to risk break even or so, somewhere around there. All right, break even stop on the rest. Let's see if she rips. It might take some consolidation. All right, PPSI looking better now. Al is still loving BSLK. NVIDIA had a bit of a crack. All right, back to 11s. Back to the 11s. Here we go. Let's see if we can push the 12 now. Let's see it. I like the reclaim. Nice reclaim. Need some higher highs though now. Still kind of light volume, really. Let's imagine if the volume actually kicks up. Oh, here we go. Still holding up. I don't know. This might be all it has. See you, Scotty. Have a good weekend. 11's holding up pretty good. Pretty incredible. $11.50, pushing high a day. There we go, new high day. Sweet. 1160. Can it continue? 1170s. When these hold up, when they work well, they hold up shockingly well. When they actually work, it is crazy how well these hold up. And you just would not think they can do this. But believe it or not, sometimes these will push over that that day one high right here. So it's possible it goes to 17 or 18 or 19. It's less common, but very possible. Here we go. Officially tagged the 12s. Testing the 12 level. What's it going to be? Squeeze or no squeeze? Kind of wanted to see it just blast off through 12. But, you know, could consolidate some more. It's fine. Al is still holding the entire position from 875. There we go. Right into the 12s. Beautiful. Pretty insane. Now we're starting to see the speed up. Oh my God, beautiful. Beautiful. That's what we want to see. So hard to hold through this. So hard. Sold some at 1250. Whew. Holy cow, look at that. Finally into the 13s as predicted. Pretty insane. Now we're getting some volume. Crazy, 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 crazy move. All right, I'm all out. 43% on the last piece. So I said I only wanted 40 or 50%. Not asking for much. Looks like this could go more though. Looks like it's going to get to the 14s. But doesn't have to. Pretty happy with that. Al is still in it. Yeah, this is going to probably halt up. Incredible. We love to see it. Al is totally unfazed by all this, and he is still holding the full position from 875. I forget where he sells at. I think 50% trailing or something. I don't remember. Yeah, the cool thing with these is when they work, they hold up so long, and there's really no rush to get out. But it's really difficult to sit through that still. That's right. We're patient with losers, not with winners. You got out $5 too soon on Meta. Dang. Yep. Intel wedging. It is wedging. I'm hoping it pulls back. When we have a few days of pulling back. Here we go, BSLK new highs. Al's right. All right, well, I'm going to call it there, guys. I got to get going. I'll post some updates in the Discord. Amazing, amazing trade on BSLK. Love to see this happen. But we'll be back on Monday. Good luck, everyone. Have a good weekend.